want to talk about a very important philosophy, I guess, or an important rule for you to go by. And that's just understanding what stereo and mono are, what they mean. You've probably heard these words before, but maybe you're not totally sure what they mean. And like I said, some of this stuff is going to be really familiar to you guys, but I just want to make sure I'm capturing all of it. So stereo and mono, this is very important for you to know. Stereo, actually let's start with mono. Mono is one sound source coming in on one channel. So for your purposes, most things that you use on Sunday when it comes to the band are mono. Every microphone is mono. Basically what that means is like that's one source, it's coming in through one channel. So that microphone is only coming to one channel. It's not coming to two separate channels. But you have some instruments like your keys are going to be coming to what would be called a stereo channel, which is left and right. Two sound sources, two channels. So you have a left channel of that keyboard, you have a right channel of that keyboard. They're coming in as two separate sources. So the reason that this is important is really for how you're going to mix them. Basically, mono can be put into however many speakers you want to. If it's just one channel and one sound source, like old recordings, like old vinyls used to be recorded in mono, and basically that just meant that all the sound was coming through one source instead of coming through multiple channels like it would be set up on your board. And the reason this is important is because if something is mono, it can be coming through however many monitors you want to put it through. You could have one sound source, but you could play it through 20 different speakers if you wanted to. The idea of stereo is having that two-channel recording of one thing so that it's a left channel and a right channel. And the purpose of this is it gives you an image. It gives you what would be called the stereo image of having a left side and a right side of listening to something, almost so you could like picture it. Like if you were to close your eyes and you're hearing something in stereo, you should be able to point and be like, oh, I hear a guitar over here, I hear the drums over here, I hear the vocalist right in front of me. Like that's the idea of stereo. And so some of the things that you're using are in stereo, like your keys, for example, are going to be in stereo. And so the importance of this is understanding like when something needs to be on two channels, which everything should be set up already. I think that you guys should have everything linked in stereo that needs to be in stereo. But one of the biggest things I think that I want to focus on for this is the video. So the video that gets sent to you every week, especially with superband stuff. But the video is stereo, it's left and right. So not only does this mean that it's coming in through two channels, because it is, but this also means that you need to pan it. And so if you're not familiar with panning, we're going to talk about this more when we get into like mixing philosophy, because there's certain ways to pan things that are going to be more effective. But panning is just the idea of moving something left or right across the field. So you have a knob at the top of your fader, and you can turn that knob left and right, and it's going to change the pan. So basically, if you turn it all the way left, then you're going to hear that sound all the way to the left. It's not going to come through the right speaker at all. Pan it right, same thing. You're going to hear it in the right speaker. It's not going to come through the left speaker at all. For the video, you're going to want to make sure the left channel is panned all the way left, the right channel is panned all the way right. And the purpose of that is you're going to get the entire image. So this doesn't matter as much when he's speaking. When Pastor is speaking, it doesn't matter as much because he's recording into, we said earlier, one microphone is a mono channel. He's recording into a mono channel. So spreading his voice is not really going to change anything. It's really going to change when you're hearing the superband. That's when the imaging is going to come into play, because you've got this whole recording of multiple sources coming in, and if you're playing it in mono, it's just going to sound super flat, super condensed. But if you pan that out like left and right, you'd be surprised like how much of a difference you'll notice of listening to it in stereo versus listening to it in mono. So this may be a little bit more, that was more of a flyby of those concepts. But again, if you've got questions, you can ask them to me in the comment section. You can get with me on the group me, whatever, and I will try to help you out with that. So